This is a new Volkswagen ID7 and it's a little bit like King Charles. You see, King Charles replaced something that had been around for a very long time that everybody loved, the Queen. This is going to replace the Passat, a car that's been around for a long time that everyone loved. This is basically the next generation of Volkswagen Passat, and obviously we can't have the Passat in the future because that's got an internal combustion engine. So this is going to be your large family car from Volkswagen for the foreseeable future. And in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it. I'm going to talk you around the exterior design, show you what it's like inside. That's not as quick as just reaching for a knob and wiggling it about. Try out its technology. Ooh, that was a horse. See how practical it is. What do the sensors say? Ooh, no. Take it for a drive. Here come the police. They come in to get me for causing an obstruction. And of course, launch it to see how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching CarWow. Let's start off this video by having a look at the design of this ID7. It's got a very sloped tailgate. This is what it looks like at night because you've got quite a good light signature in these lights. There's not that much going on at the back, but it's neat and tidy. I quite like it. Moving down the side, you can really see how sloped that roof line is. Trying to make the car look coupe-like, even though it's very, very long. In terms of wheel sizes, start at 19s, rising to 20s. At the moment, there are just 5 colours to choose from the paint scheme, but 2 more will be added. All cars have a contrasting roof and this silvery trim around the windows. I like these flush door handles. Now, some flush door handles that pop out I don't really like, but these seem to work quite well. There's a little switch at the back of there. Just pull it like that, open it. It's neat, tidy. Helps the car be more aerodynamic. It's got a drag coefficient of 0.23 CD, which is the same as the previous generation Tesla Model 3. The new one's slightly more aerodynamic than this. So moving to the front, so you've got this intelligent light design here. It's got matrix LEDs as standard, and this illuminates at night as well. I'll try and show you that now as a cutaway, so you can have a look at it. It's all quite smart looking, isn't it? It's not the most exciting car to look at, but it's not ugly either. Right, price. Pretty expensive. Starts from £52,000. This one, with all the kit on it, £58,000. Thankfully, you can save a bit of money off one through CarWow. If I look on here, you can see average saving on an ID7 of, there it is, £1,300 right now. Every little counts, doesn't it? Here on the inside, the ID7 is fairly good looking. Keeps things reasonably simple with the dash design, and you've got leatherette up here, squidginess on the top. This one has blue piping. It's part of an interior option pack to give it a bit more oomph. I think that includes this kind of stuff here as well. Oh, as standard, you do get ambient lighting. Oh, nice ambient lighting with 30 different colours. Yeah. Obviously, the dash is dominated by this huge central infotainment screen. It's clear. It's reasonably responsive. Come on, respond. Don't let me down. Oh, God, that's a commentator's nightmare, isn't it? It's all right to use. Certain things that aren't so good is that some of the climate functions are buried in there, though you can access the key things quite quickly, like heated seats. You can just whack it like that and you bring up the heated seats like that, and that's okay. And you can quickly do the temperature just by pressing those buttons, and they are illuminated, these buttons, at night, so you can see them. In the past with the VW electric cars, they weren't. In terms of quality, steering wheel feels nice, these bits feel nice, but as you go lower down, things do get a little bit scratchy. This big center console here feels nice as well, and this armrest is padded, but once again, get a bit lower, we've got some scratchiness going on. Let's just check the indicator stalk though. Is it nicely damped? That is affirmative, Captain. It's good. Let's check out the storage. So underneath here we have the cup holders. I'm going to try out various size bottles in there. Grips that tight, that's good. How about this size? That'll get in there, that's also good. Let's really put it to the test. Yes! And while I've got this, that will go into the door bin because the door bin's large. And look, it is lined with felt. So if you put things in there, it doesn't rattle about. Give this the old center console wobble test while I'm at it. That is sturdy. Right, let's have a look under here. Big wireless charging pad for mobile phones. Just whack that in there. And you've got 2 USB-C charging ports there as well, if you'd rather use that. Let's have a look under this armrest. So, got some space in there. reasonably deep actually. Look, it's pretty deep. Can you see? What else do you need to know? You need to know that the driving position is good. Usually is in Volkswagens, and thankfully they haven't put everything through this screen. You do have a little digital driver's display there with your speed and everything like that. So that's really, really handy. The seats have enough adjustment in them for people big or small. And you have the usual features, you know, like a sunblind with vanity mirror and light. Yeah, it's all right in here. It's not particularly exciting. It's not particularly offensive. The ID7 has a very long wheelbase, so the distance between the front and the rear wheels is 3 meters. The result is absolutely loads of knee room. There's plenty of foot space too. It doesn't really matter that you can't slide your feet out underneath the chairs in front that much because the footwells are just that big. As a result, it's nice and comfy here in the back seats. The sloping roof line does mean there's not loads and loads of headroom, but people over 6 foot should just about be fine. If you need to carry 3 people in the back at once, there's not a hump in the floor or anything, so there's plenty of room for your feet. This middle seat does feel a little bit narrow, and when you have 2 adults either side, it feels a bit of a squash on your shoulders, and because this roof curves in there, the people in the outer seats will be rubbing their heads along there. I just don't think it's quite as good for 3 in the back as something like a Hyundai Ioniq 5. Click on the pop-out banner up there, or follow the QR code to watch my full in-depth video review of that car. When it comes to carrying babies though, there's loads of space for a child seat, really easy to fit, dead easy to get to the ISOFIX anchor points. They just flip out like that, simple. Loads of room to manoeuvre the seat back here, and plenty for those bulky rear facing seats as well. Plus, if you've got 3 babies, you've also got ISOFIX on the front passenger seat, which is great. While we're on the subject of practicality, you have some pockets here on the back, then some other little pockets there for your mobile devices. There's your USB-Cs down there to charge them. And look, we've got heated seats here in the rear and climate through this air vent. Nice. Also, we've got some big door bins, once again lined so things don't rattle. I'll just put a bottle in there, you'll see plenty of space in there for largest bottles. And let's do the rear window test. Will it go all the way down? Heck yeah. Oh, and it's nice that it's squidgy materials here on the back. So the quality here in the rear feels just the same as it does in the front. And that's not always the case with Volkswagen. So that's nice that people in the back don't feel like they're in the cheap seats. Now let's just check this out. We've got an armrest with a couple of cup holders there and one for your energy drink, plus some through loading capabilities. Speaking of which, let's get and check out the boot. Buying a new or used car? Then you need to visit CarWow, and we'll help you find your perfect car at a price you'll love. Just answer a few simple questions about the car you want, and our trusted dealers will come back to you with great offers. Then choose the offer that's right for you and contact the dealer directly through CarWow. No haggling, no fees, and on average, CarWow users save over £1,800. But what if you're not sure which car you actually want? No problem. Just watch our insightful video reviews, read our impartial expert advice, or use our helpful car buying tools to discover your ideal car in no time at all. No wonder 95% of customers surveyed said they wouldn't buy a car without CarWow. I've put a link in the description of this video and the pinned comment to take you directly to CarWow so you can see for yourself how it can help you, or you can just click on the pop-out banner that should be appearing up there right now. Alternatively, just Google "Help Me CarWow" and my team and I will help you choose your perfect car and get it for a price you'll love. Now on with the video. The load capacity is an impressive 530 litres. Now Tesla says the big capacity of a Model 3 is like 590, but it has a saloon tailgate rather than this big lift back, hatchback tailgate, which makes access so much more practical. So if you're going to play that game, I guess you would go for a Tesla Model Y, which has a bigger boot than this still, and the Model 3, and it's still similar money to this. Anyhow, look, there's no load lip to lift stuff over, but the distance from here to here is quite a lot, and there is a risk with heavy items to scratch that. I'm not going to do it now, but you could do. I want to show you this because you can actually alter the height of the boot. You can make it a bit deeper, but at the moment I have this under there. It is the load cover. It fits, which is good news. Can I give this to you, sir? I'm not going to throw it because it fits. That's the rules. So yeah, look, you can do this. Can you see? Right, one of the reasons you might not want to do that though is when you're loading big bulky items and you need to fold down the rear seats. So you can actually fold them down from here. Tick-a-ding. Tick-a-ding. They don't lie completely flat, but you've got a continuous floor, which makes it easier to, look, slide things like this to the front, like that. Other bits and pieces here in the boot I'll show you. So tie down points there. There's another one. There's your 12-volt socket there. Look, there it is. You've got some hooks, some nets for catching fish. Anyway, let's check out the front boot because it's an electric car and they always have them, don't they? Right, see what we've got. Doesn't have a front boot like a Polestar 2 does. And if you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner appearing up there or follow this QR code. To be fair, this car does have a much bigger boot than the Polestar 2s, which is just like 400 litres, but still. The ID7 has a 77 kilowatt hour battery pack as standard, with a maximum claimed range of 384 miles. In future, you'll be able to get an 86 kilowatt hour battery pack version, which will have a claimed range of up to 430 miles. In terms of charging, AC charging is up to 11 kilowatts. DC charging is up to 170 kilowatts, though on the 86 kilowatt hour battery pack version, slightly higher, 200 kilowatts. Now, as standard, the car has a single electric motor driving the rear wheels with 286 horsepower. In future though, there will be a dual motor version in the sporty GTX. So which version of the ID7 should you go for? Well, I've configured my favourite ID7 in terms of the trim and everything like that using the carwow configurator. If you want to see exactly what that car is and the saving through carwow, just click on the pop-out banner up there or use the QR code appearing on the screen now. However, this car isn't perfect. Here's 5 annoying things about it. I really hate Volkswagen's window switch strategy. So, tell you what I also hate, the car beeping to tell me that the ignition's on with the door open. I need the ignition on to show you this. So, essentially what they've done is cheaped out on buttons, because rather than having 4 buttons, one for each window, you now only have 2 buttons, one for operating right and one for operating left. So there we go, that's normally defaulting to operating the front windows, but if I want to operate the rear window, I have to press this switch there. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, and then I'll operate the rear window. Now, sometimes the problem is that you leave it on the rear setting and then you want to use the front and you're like, oh, I've just opened the back window. Or what happens is you accidentally touch it like that and activate it to rear, and now, yes, you want to operate the front, but you're operating the rear. I hate it. That is such a crap design. While the glove box looks big, it's actually quite small. I think that's the fuse box behind there, taking up space. Now, I'm not sure whether you have a full-size glove box on a left-hand drive car and Volkswagen just couldn't be asked to move the fuse box across with the glove box and the steering wheel. You know, that's the kind of thing that you used to find on French cars, but never VWs in the past. VW is a bit more about cost-cutting these days. You know how you used to be able to just quickly change the direction of the airflow through an air vent in a car by just moving the slider? Not anymore. So with this new ID7, if you want to direct the airflow, you have to go into the climate menu and then operate it there by doing that. And quite frankly, that's not as quick as just reaching for a knob and wiggling it about, if you know what I mean. Even though this car has a B mode for maximum regen, it doesn't have full one-pedal driving. So once you're driving along, you can't bring it to a complete stop by just simply lifting off the accelerator. It'll still keep rolling forward. You do have to press the brake. Damn it. This car comes with lots of active safety systems and you can toggle them off and on and actually tailor them as you like them. The only problem is that with certain ones, you might turn them off, but then this happens. Look, so I'm going to turn off lane keeping assist because it annoys me the way it sometimes just steers you back into lane when you know exactly what you're doing, or it sometimes gets confused. A drowsiness monitor, sometimes it can trigger when you don't think it should. Front assist, maybe you're driving down narrow lanes and stuff like that and there's lots of oncoming traffic that you do have to do a little bit of negotiation with, and you don't want that just triggering all the time. Side assist, again, you don't want to keep on getting beeped if there's someone in your blind spot and so on and so forth. You turn that all off, you think you're happy with it, that's fine, those are your settings, that's how you'd like to drive. Unfortunately, when you then turn the car off and lock it, go away, then you come back to it the next time, turn it on again, look what happens. All those safety systems you turned off have come back on. You have to do the process again. Often you forget about it and you have to do it while you're driving, which isn't very safe.
It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car.
The Ergo Premium seats are not only very comfy, they also come with a massage function with a lot of different programs. Plus, as well as the usual cooling and heating features, there's something called Dry Boost, which is designed to dry your wet clothes if you wet yourself, I guess. What it does is combine the fan function on the cooling of the seats with the heater function to blow dry your bottom. The panoramic glass roof doesn't have a sunblind, but it has a feature where you can make the glass go opaque if you want shading, or you can actually make it transparent if you want to let more light in. Transparent, opaque, transparent, opaque. Yeah, good, isn't it? Though to be fair, I think Mercedes introduced a similar system on the SLK back in the noughties. The car comes with a heads-up display as standard, and as well as the usual speed and stuff like that, and general satellite navigation directions, it can give you, ooh, that was a horse. It can give you augmented reality satellite navigation directions. So actual arrows that point at the junction that you're supposed to take just as you're approaching it. This is what it looks like, because obviously I can't show you now because I'm stood in front of the car. Clever, eh? The ID7 has Volkswagen's latest voice recognition software, which can understand more things than ever before. And if there's something that it can't understand or doesn't want to understand, then it will ask ChatGPT. So let's give it a go. How much was the Volkswagen Group fined for the Dieselgate scandal?
According to theguardian.com, Volkswagen has agreed to pay £193 million to settle 91,000 legal claims in England and Wales linked to the Dieselgate emissions scandal that rocked the German carmaker.
Let's get some more detail. How much was Volkswagen Group fined in total globally for the Dieselgate scandal?
According to Forbes.com, VW's Dieselgate scandal at $30 billion is the largest in the history of the auto industry.
No wonder they're having to make some savings with their glove box designs. The USB-C ports in this car have an output of 40 watts, which means as well as charging your phone, they're powerful enough to charge a computer. Look, I'll just plug this in and we'll actually get the little charge sign up there. Yay! Right, let's see what this ID7 is like to drive. So starting off in town, and the first thing I should tell you is about the suspension. This one has the adaptive dampers and they come as part of a pack which is around £2,000. Might seem like quite a lot, but it really does add a level of sophistication to how this car drives. Plus, let me just do this. If you go into individual mode, you can alter the stiffness of them between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, quite a lot of settings. Count for yourself on busy driving, actually. Oh, so good. It really does just feel comfortable. It makes it feel sophisticated, makes it feel expensive, deals with bumps really, really, really well. You know, I think it's worth the money. When you're paying this much for a car, add that bit extra to make it feel just more salubrious in the way it goes down the road. In terms of the visibility, good view forward. These pillars are quite large, looking over my shoulder. The blind spot caused by the back pillar isn't so bad because you've got this extra little quarter light, and the view out the back window is reasonable. I'm getting a lot of sun glare. Let's give it a bit of that. That is better, though you're probably seeing a nice line across my face now. Steering's really light. Brakes, they don't seem to do much when you first press them. In fact, you really have to dig into the pedal to get the car to stop. Anyway, let's check out the turning circle. So, I don't actually know how to bring up the cameras. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? I'm just going to put it into reverse. That'll do it. There we go. Now I'm going to use the pretty nice, actually, high definition 360 degree cameras to get round here. Am I going to get round? Don't curb, make it. It reckons I might curb it. I don't reckon I'm going to. There's no way I'm going to get past that car. Let's see what the sensors say. What do the sensors say? Ooh. So the turning circle is 12.3 meters. No, which is about a meter more than a Tesla Model 3. A Hyundai Ioniq 6 is 11.8 meters, and if you click on the pop-out banner appearing up there, or follow the link from this QR code if you're watching on a smart TV, then you can go watch the video review of that car. Here come the police. They come in to get me for causing an obstruction. Can you hear the brakes creaking a bit? I think I'm going to go into brake mode. It's just a bit better in town, gives you more control. So it's not the most manoeuvrable, but it is a big, long car. Yeah, the brakes seem better now because you're getting more regen when you lift off the accelerator, but they're not the best. Something slightly squidgy and natural about them. All right, let's check out the performance. You see, this is a single motor car, but it has 286 horsepower, which should be enough, even though it weighs almost 2.2 tons. So I'm going to accelerate from 40 up to 70 for the dual carriageway speed. Let's see how it fares. So here we go. I'm going to punch it in 3, 2, 1, now. And that is 70 right there. That is quick enough. Definitely quick enough. Actually, while I'm at this speed, let's put on the auto cruise. There we go, and it'll just steer, keep me in lane. I like the fact that this is standard. Look, there we go, keeping me in lane, 70 miles an hour, hooked up. And you know, this kind of speed, bit of road noise. I'm not sure if it's wind noise. It's just a general sound. It's at a slightly annoying frequency. It's not loud, but it's just noticeable as just there in your ear. So it's quite quiet, but not quite as quiet as I'd like, if that makes sense. In terms of the efficiency, right, so this thing is supposed to do 370 miles on a full charge with these wheels. However, this car is averaging 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour. Multiply that up by the battery capacity of 77 kilowatt hours, and the real world range is 240 miles. So that's about 65% of what Volkswagen claim for this car. Right, I'm going to turn the cruise off. You can actually use it in town. Let's turn it off. Off! Cancel. There we go. However, now I've just noticed something. The assist systems have defaulted to on again, so it's like steering me back kind of in the centre of the lane where I don't necessarily want it to, so let's just get rid of that and let's get rid of the speed warning as well. Go back to the car setting. No, go back to that. No, not that. There we go. There we go. It's a bit weird because sometimes you don't agree with its positioning, and it's a bit like, you know, when you were having your driving lessons on the early days when the instructor would sometimes lean across and steer you back into lane. It's kind of like doing that to you, only you now know how to drive and you're not sure whether it's good enough to be an instructor. Sometimes it gets confused. I always turn it off. I just wish you didn't have to every single time you blooming drive it. So let's see if this car is any fun. So I'm driving it in sports mode. I'm gonna put the suspension though in sports as well, see what it feels like then. So I've got maximum throttle response, and that's how I like to drive it. The only problem is I'd like a little less regen braking when I lift off the throttle in sports mode. When you're in comfort, it is better. It just kind of coasts when you lift off, as long as you don't switch it to B up there. So you lift off in comfort and it just coasts, which actually works out to be more efficient most of the time because you're letting the car roll. But in sport, if you want that throttle response, which you do, it's just a bit more severe on the regen braking than I would like. A bit more than a normal petrol powered car. Let's try it through the bends. Yeah, I'm noticing in sports setting for the suspension that it's a little bit bobbly. Now, it's a good job I've got that lane keeping assist off now, otherwise it'd be losing its mind. You'd think being rear wheel drive would be a bit of a laugh. Oh, did a little bit of a step then, actually. Ooh, the steering's accurate enough and it does okay. I think that is too firm. It doesn't feel firm, it just feels bobbly, if that makes sense. So let's go midpoint. Go on, go on. That's probably a happy medium for cornering. Stays reasonably flat, but there's something about this, it doesn't sort of inspire me to go quicker, it doesn't inspire me to try and have fun, it's just a car to get me from A to B. That's how I feel about it. It's not particularly exciting, but it's okay. Yay. Volkswagen says this car will do 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. Let's find out the reality with my specialist timing gear. So I've got an auto hold, sport mode, floor it. 3, 2, 1. Very smooth pickup, no loss in traction, despite the ground being a little bit wet. What's the time? Sub 6, just 5.96 seconds. It's quick enough. Sub 6 seconds, big car like this, not meant to be sporty. Fine. Do you know something? I think Volkswagen are really struggling in certain ways with these electric cars, because in the past with internal combustion engine cars, what used to happen is that they'd always gain an advantage by the fact that their engines and gearboxes was generally pretty blooming good, you know, whether it's diesel or petrol, they had a good lineup. So they'd compete in terms of the engine and gearboxes as well as their ride quality, their interior quality, their technology, how easy their cars are to use. What's happened with electric power is that it's just completely democratized the whole powertrain system, because ultimately it all comes down to how much power has the car got, and how many wheels are being driven, and how heavy is it. And that's it. That's what the performance comes down to, because basically with electric motors, you put an X amount of electrons into it, has enough power, and that determines how quick it is to drive. Other than that, they all feel exactly the same. So there's no real wins to be had. And I think that's a big problem for, you know, the legacy car manufacturers such as Volkswagen, because in the past, other manufacturers had to, you know, be able to compete with their years and years and years and years and years of actually building engines and gearboxes and making them work in a car. But that's all gone. So all they have to compete with them now is essentially efficiency at the battery, which obviously legacy car manufacturers are not experts on, and build quality, comfort and design. A new world order is coming in. So then, what's my final verdict on the Volkswagen ID7? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should consider it. It's a decent enough car, but it's not particularly exciting nor that efficient, and I think there's other electric cars for a little less money which are just a little bit more desirable. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, it really helps us out, and let me know what you think of my verdict on this car in the comments below. If you click on the video windows, you can watch some more videos, and if you click on the CarWow logo, you can go to CarWow to see how much money you can save on your next car. Thanks for watching.